Excellency Ambassador Keisha McGuire, Chair of the Special Committee on Decolonization, Her Excellency Ambassador Menisa Herbali, St. Lucia Permanent Representative to the United Nations, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I would like to begin by thanking the Special Committee on Decolonization for this opportunity to provide an update on the situation in the British Virgin Islands. I'm attending this Pacific Regional Seminar on behalf of the territory's newly appointed Premier and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Benito Wheatley, who heads the recently formed National Unity Government. Unfortunately, he's unable to join us today due to other pressing matters, as you can imagine. However, he wishes us well in our deliberations and thanks the Special Committee for its ongoing support to the territory. Excellencies and distinguished delegates, the past 14 days have been a roller coaster ride for the people of the British Virgin Islands. We were shocked by the arrest of former Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Andrew Ford, on 20th April in Miami, Florida, in the United States. We are highly disappointed and embarrassed by his actions and the very disturbing things he has been involved in that were revealed in the affidavit filed in the United States courts. We condemn his behavior and believe the U.S. court system should be left to take its course. Excellencies, on the day after the arrest, His Excellency the Governor, Mr. John J. Rankin, CMG, decided to publish the Commission Inquiry Report on the territory that was originally scheduled to be released in June. Governor Rankin's rationale was that it was important to make clear that the arrest and Commission Inquiry were not linked. However, the effect of releasing the report so quickly after former Premier Ford was detained threw an already reeling society into a tailspin. It also strengthened calls in certain quarters for direct rule to be imposed on the people of the British Virgin Islands, as recommended by Sir Gary Higginbotham in the report. This in turn has increased pressure on the UK government to take that undesirable course of action. UK Minister for the Overseas Territories, the Right Honourable Amanda May MP, visited the territory from 2nd to 3rd May, where she, along with Governor Rankin, met the representatives of the ruling and opposition parties, as well as a cross-section of stakeholders in society, to discuss the findings and recommendations of the report. The political discussions were frank and open, but cordial and constructive. Minister Millen expressed her deep concern about the government's issues highlighted in the report, which cut across several administrations. The then acting Premier, Dr. the Honorable Benito Wheatley, and members of the opposition parties acknowledged that there are areas of governance that need to be improved, but that they oppose direct rule as the means by which to do so. Alternatively, they proposed that the recommendations of the Commission Inquiry Report and other reforms to be implemented under continued democratic governance with modifications to certain existing arrangements. This position is not only that of the political directorate, it is also the sentiment of the majority of the population who cherish democracy and do not want to see the constitutional progress made over the past 70 years reversed. Many of you would have seen the news coverage of the protests and demonstrations on 2nd May in the Capitol Hotel. I also understand that there are more protests taking place today. Not only is the sentiment against direct rule strong in the British Virgin Islands, but the strength of feelings across the Caribbean, where governments and their people genuinely want to see the UK break with its past and to stand up as a champion of freedom and democracy in the Commonwealth and around the world, including places such as Ukraine. The British Virgin Islands should be no exception. Importantly, before Minister Millen left the territory, she advised that no decision had been made on whether direct rule would be imposed on the people of the British Virgin Islands, and would await a proposal from the then acting Premier and opposition party representatives on their proposed alternative to direct rule. Since her departure, events on the ground have moved very quickly. On 5th May, the House of Assembly held a successful vote of confidence in the then Premier and Minister of Finance, Andrew Ford. This was very important as we begin the process of rebuilding the reputation of the British Virgin Islands that should not be judged by the actions of one man. On the same day that Premier Ford was stripped of his position, Governor Rankin swore in a new national unity government led by Premier Wheatley and comprised of the major political parties in the territory. The national unity government pledged to work in the best interest of the people of the British Virgin Islands and to serve with honesty and integrity. This has been welcomed by the public who want to see their new government strengthen the institutions and systems of of government and demonstrate a change in how the public's business is handled. Toward this end, the National Unity Government has committed to undertaking reforms, including implementation of the recommendations of the Commission Inquiry Report, albeit under continued democratic governance and in partnership with the UK and close cooperation with Governor Rankin. The government believes this is the most desirable approach, especially since the governor is constitutionally responsible for the public service, security, and administration of the courts, while the elected government is constitutionally responsible for managing the rest of the government. I am pleased to report that yesterday, Premier Wheatley submitted a proposal to Minister Millen on behalf of the National Unity Government that sets out the government's approach to reform and presents a framework for implementation of the recommendations of the Commission Inquiry Report under continued democratic governance. We sincerely hope that the United Kingdom will accept the proposal and will be willing to partner with the National Unity Government to help the British Virgin Islands become the model democracy that its people desire, in which there is opportunity for all. It is also the UK's obligation under Article 73 of the UN Charter to help the people of the territory develop their free political institutions. We would welcome this. On behalf of Premier Wheatley, I would like to thank the UN Special Committee on Decolonization for their interest in our current circumstances. I also want to thank CARICOM, OECS, the Caribbean Territories, University of the West Indies, the Government of St. Lucia, and governments across the region for their expressions of support and offers of assistance to help us strengthen our institutions and systems of government. Madam Chair, as I close, permit me to congratulate you, the Bureau, and wider committee for the important work that you continue to do to assist the non-self-governing territories in moving closer to achieving a full measure of self-government. The British Virgin Islands will continue to engage the committee on the available options sanctioned by the UN. I kindly ask that a recent self-governance assessment of the territory completed by independent governance expert, Dr. Carl Corbin, is placed on the record of this region seminar. The UN has been an excellent partner of the BVI, and we look forward to continuing our good cooperation with the respective UN bodies and agencies with whom we are engaged on sustainable development and other matters. Lastly, I would like to thank the government of St. Lucia, who is hosting this regional seminar. The hospitality and arrangements have been excellent thus far, and look forward to many days here. I thank you for your attention.